Welcome to the final video of our three-part series. In our first video, we introduced a team of entrepreneurs with an idea to change the world. And in the last video, we explored how the principles of design thinking might drive that idea forward towards success and positive impact. But now we're going to show you a real-world example where design thinking had changed the world for the better. We're going to take you on a trip to the city of Makassar in Indonesia. In 2016, traffic congestion in the city was a major problem. The statistic was troubling. 70% of traffic accidents involved two-wheelers. To make matters worse, 195 new motorbikes and 43 new cars were bought on average daily. To get them started on the right track, Mayor Pomanto and his officials partnered with UNDP to pilot design thinking techniques. A design thinking workshop was held to bring fresh ideas to his government, an innovative plan that led to incredible insights. Let's find out how. The first step was empathy. Makassar citizens from all walks of life were invited to attend the workshop to understand their pain points. Groups also took to the streets to interview citizens on their public transport experience. This allowed them to develop a plan for a more reliable transport system, one that would revolve around the residents' needs. This brought them to the next step: define. What was the challenge that needed to be addressed? Minivans, known locally as pete-pete, and the Makassar citizens' main form of public transport, were identified as the main source of traffic congestion. The lack of governance and planning had resulted in overlapping routes and congestions on the more popular routes. They identified three critical areas to solve: design routes to meet users' needs and avoid overlapping, encourage changes in the behavior of users and transport operators to follow traffic laws, or make information on transport schedules available to commuters. Now that they had the building blocks in place, it was time to think about ideas. In the end, three key solutions stood out. Revitalize pete-pete to make them more economically viable. This system would allow pete-pete drivers to pick up students from their home and drop them off after school for more income. Use the pete-pete as the first and last mile transport between housing complexes, schools, shopping areas, and provincial-run bus routes. Bus shelters would also be constructed along these routes so that drivers do not stop in the middle of the road and block traffic. Build an app to give commuters pete-pete arrival times. Commuters had no information on bus schedules, and many had resorted to buying their own motorbikes. As we have already discovered, there is always more than one way to solve a problem. But then came the tricky part. The participants had to find out if their solutions would actually work in real life. This is why the next step of prototyping is absolutely crucial. The participants went on to build prototypes to validate their solutions, saving valuable time and resources in the process. With their prototypes in hand, they moved on to the final step: testing. Testing had allowed them to refute their assumptions. It was only through multiple tests that they discovered they had to return to the drawing board. They had to come up with new prototypes if it turned out that their initial prototype did not address the citizens' pain points. Most groups even ended up with final prototypes which were completely different from their initial ideas. More importantly, the results and iterations moved them one step closer to addressing the public transport challenges that have troubled the citizens of Makassar for a long time. Reflection is the enemy of progress. Think about your own projects and make sure you regularly ask yourself these three questions. We call this the retrospective. It helps you be mindful to not rely on previous achievements. It also helps you to actively think about what you do and how you do it. Another common pitfall that burdens the mindset of design thinkers is the discomfort that comes with not knowing if everything will work out as planned. The design thinking process is unpredictable and complex by nature. It can be overwhelming, especially for anyone facing uncertainty. That's where creative confidence comes in. With creative confidence comes the realization that every human is inherently a designer. By understanding the principles and practicing awareness, we can navigate the ambiguity to do remarkable things. We've come to the end of our series. We hope that these design thinking videos form the foundation for you to go out there and create products that are not only technologically and commercially successful, but also fulfilling. If you found our series helpful, we encourage you to share them on social media so that other entrepreneurs like you can benefit from our sessions. Be sure to keep checking back for new resources from us.